We are live.
What's up? It's 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the West Coast, and we're back with Monday Cinema Club.
Welcome to Monday Cinema Club. My name is Alice Rahmatullah, and for my Chinese fans, hi, 大家好，我叫 Alice. For my Uyghur fans, yaxshimsizlar bizning kino klubimizga kelganinglar qarshamiz. For everybody, yo, what's up?
Yo, what's up? I'm saying yo, what's up. Thank you for that. What's up? I see Aina's in the house. What's up? I love guitar. The only flowers in the house.
Hey,
Morgan Mac
hey,
30. Jen's in the house. So check this out. We're Monday Cinema Club, like we do every Monday. For people that haven't joined us before, this is basically this whole COVID area. I think it's the 25th episode today.
I can't believe that.
I can't believe it either. But we've just been watching movies because we're both filmmakers, actors, producers, directors, and writers, and we're writing a project right now. And so we just started watching movies and now discussing them weekly with you, just to talk about movies because we love movies. And so hopefully some of you guys watched the movie that we watched this last week, which is All the President's Men, which is a great film. I mean, we kind of have these themes that go on. It is, obviously last week was an election week, and I hope everybody that could vote in America voted and was a part of this historical election. Crazy times we're living in, but it just brought up, kind of political films, and this is one of them. And this was an amazing film for the people that watched it, and I hope you guys did watch it. Mm-hmm. I'll just do a quick breakdown just from Wikipedia. It says, All the President's Men is a 1976 American political biographical drama film about the Watergate scandal, which brought down the presidency of Richard M. Nixon, directed by Alan J. Pakula, screenplay by William Goldman, and is based on a 1974 nonfiction book the same name by Carl Bernstein and Bob Woodward, who are the two main characters in the movie, played by Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman, the two journalists investigating the Watergate scandal for the Washington Post. So that's the film in a nutshell.
Yep. Let me give you a little bit of introduction for director Alan J. Pakula. He's born April 7th, which is very close to mine. Birthday. We're all Aries. 1928, November. He just passed away November 19 in 1998. Was American film director, writer, and
amazing film director.
He was nominated for 3 Academy Awards: Best Picture for To Kill a Mockingbird, and Best Director for All the President's Men, and Best Adapted Screenplay for Sophia's Choice.
It's very, this film is kind of like it's very Hollywoody, classic Hollywood guys. Alan J. Pakula, William Goldman's like one of the all-time, great writers. He wrote a great book called Screenwriting that I think when you go through art school or just try to write a script, you're gonna go read that book because it's very helpful in screenwriting.
Is it?
And then of course you got the two lead actors, Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman, are just phenomenal. So
he's amazing. So they won a lot of Academy Awards. So major Academy Awards for Best Picture Design for Georgie C. Jensen, and an Academy Award for Best Writing for William Goldman, and Best Academy for Best Actor and Supporting Actor for Jason.
He also wrote. Someone said that. Who said that? William Goldman also wrote a German City Girl. Also said Goldman also wrote Princess Bride. Yeah.
Oh my God!
Thank you. He's like super classic. Thank you for that piece of information. And that was one of the movies we watched on Monday Cinema Club.
Monday Cinema Club. So Academy Award for Best Sound Mixing, National Society of Film Critics Award for Best Film, so and so. It's like
it goes on and on. But let's just talk about the movie, and then hopefully we get some people in here to talk about the movie with us. And I know we do have one VIP guest that hits you on the DM.
We do have one VIP guest because I understand people are just catching up all the news, watching the.
It's been a heavy news week, but this kind of went into it. So before we went to the movie, this is a movie I watched in acting school years ago, and I remember really loving. Of course, I ended up working with Dustin Hoffman. And this is in the 70s, and so this is his rise to fame as just an amazing, amazing actor. And Robert Redford's performances. You had not known about this film, and you did not even want to watch it. Let's be honest.
Well, to be honest, this is not one of my favorite genre. So if you're saying, when you're saying like let's do political because it's election day, and then let's do something closer to this genre film, I was like a little bit worried.
What kind of genre film is it?
It is. This film?
Yeah.
It is political thriller drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not your style.
Not my style, but surprisingly.
But what did you think about it?
I mean, I thought you were gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, apparently I thrilled by it from this director.
Some of the film is called. I'm gonna keep talking. I'm gonna put on here what the film is called.
Exactly, and then, I mean, it's phenomenal work, but performing is great. You can't even like noticing this is somebody is performing. It's just like first 5 minutes you just literally like drag you into that world, so you don't feel like you're watching film or you don't feel like you're seeing someone is performing, because these two journalists, this performing, it's beyond. It's like look like journalists. Like when you nowadays you look at the film, when you watch a modern film, you feel like this guy does not look like a doctor. This guy is not a lawyer. It's like no way this girl can kill someone or can fight. You don't feel that way because these two phenomenal actors. It's great. It's so organic, so natural, and then this connection between just two of them. Like first time they met each other, how they set it up. The scene, and it's just organically happened, and they don't introduce themselves. Hey, my name is this, my name is that. Are you working on this project? Yes, I am. Let's work together. Let's become a best friend, or let's become a best partner. You don't see that. They don't say it. They're just so competitive, and then they're really like fightsy, and then they do support, and then they do passionate about this topic they're working on. So it is so organic, and you feel.
So you like the film?
I mean, I'm breaking down.
Did you like the film?
I like the film.
Did you love the film?
I do love the film.
Yes,
Why?
No, I mean, I'm with you because the
Right?
film, when you watch the film, this film, okay, so it's based on a true story, which is always exciting to me. I like books based on true stories, autobiographies, or based on true events. I like films that are based. I mean, look, I know it's all kind of make believe to a degree because we're making movies and we're telling stories, and who knows all the facts. Try to get as good as you can, but when it's based in reality, I'm drawn to that because I just love that. I also love documentaries. I mean, who hasn't been home watching documentaries on Netflix this whole COVID? I have. But when you watch the film, like you were saying, it looks so real, feels so real. First of all, it takes place in 1972. It was shot in what year? They came out in
1972, but they shot it in like 1972.
So it was basically the same.
They came out in 1976.
76, okay. And so it's about 1972. They just shot a film that was like happened 4 years before they shot the film. And it's a real event, and of course it was very impactful in American society, just with the president and all the political stuff going on. But to see the 70s shot, it's like a time capsule, like what they're wearing, how they're acting, the cars. I mean, Hoffman smoking in everywhere.
Non-stop.
The ties they're wearing. It was just like, of course it's within the time, so you can't even say it's production design for that time. It's just that it was really beautiful to see that. And then, like you said, it felt so real. It felt like a documentary.
It is feel like a documentary, and it feel like supernatural, organic, and it fits to that tone of the film. And then,
but the acting was superb. Like the two guys, Redford and Dustin Hoffman, as young actors, we would study these kind of guys and their acting. And then the film, honestly, like it's very political, and there's all these things that were current events at that time that I'm sure political people out there know exactly what they're talking about and all this stuff. I didn't know everything they were talking about. A lot of names were flying over my head and a lot of the events, and I didn't understand every detail of what was going on. But because the intention of the actors and how they were acting and like going after the story, I totally got the story, and it's just amazing to watch, and funny and thrilling. And it's really, because it's the 70s, it's fascinating because they're these bulldog reporters for the Washington Post, which is like a major newspaper, obviously. But, you know, this is before computers. They're all on typewriters. There's no computers, no cell phones, obviously. But to see how they're working, and you can see them working and taking notes and even, like, drawing, like, doodling on the notes, getting on the phone.
Getting on the phone while he's drawing, I totally can feel, because he's nervous. And he wants to play that mind game with that person who's speaking on the phone. He has to get that exactly the person he wants to, because you know that how system works. Like, you first time you calling person, a system picks up, or the bookkeeper picks up, whatever in the front desk person picks up. You have to go through those layers, like you saying, hey, this is calling from Washington Journal, Journal. But some people like, they get like, why you don't have any appointment, you don't have a schedule, why do you want to talk to my boss? Like, you have to be really, really manipulative. At the same time, you have to be really smooth, you know? So that's why you can't tell.
It was definitely a lesson in master filmmaking, master directing, master acting.
Exactly. Director give that shot for the character who's drawing while he's talking on the phone. You can tell you can show this character is nervous. This person is nervous. Like, he's trying to get that information, sensitive information, but you can tell one of the super clever decision.
I love this thing was when back in the day we were on those phones, the old rotary phones were in the home and everything, and you could see they're listening on the line to listen to what the other guy's talking, and it just brought up crazy memories, because we used to do that. Say if we're in this room and someone's in the other room wants to listen to you, pick up the phone real softly, like your mom or something, or your brothers.
Who do you want to listen to?
Your brother's on the phone. But also, if you don't want them to hear you, you can unscrew the speaker part of it, and they're all doing it in the movie.
Can you do it right now?
You can't do it on these phones. But
you can mute it.
Eavesdropping, exactly, German City girl. They're eavesdropping on the lines when they're doing the story. It's just so fascinating to see, because it was again, it's great filmmaking, it's great acting, but also it's just great kind of like, it's like a time machine going back in time and seeing how people communicated and used the newspapers, so how they kind of communicate and how information was being passed and how they were working on the story. And then I'll tell you, like, one of the things you watch in the movie, there's like this classic moment which became a trope for so many detective films after this movie.
That's my favorite scene.
Really?
We were about to say that.
About going into the garage?
Going to the garage.
He goes into this garage and he has all these scenes with the guy that they're calling Deep Throat. And again, Deep Throat's one of those things that they a lot of people talk about with the Watergate scandal, but also when they're doing anything kind of like mystery, because there's that person who's giving you information, and in the garage passing information to you.
Well,
shadow, you can't see his face. Like, they did it in this movie, but every movie afterwards they did because of this movie.
Every movie did that because it's a thriller element, and at the same time, looking at the art perspective, art design perspective, or production design perspective. If you look at when the first shot comes, this is my favorite shot. When the first shot shows a static shot, and then the actor or Bob Woodward, played by Robert Redford, and he's walking down the stairs. We don't follow, as a director, like, you don't follow the person walking down the stairs. Like, you just one static shot and then a white shot,
and you see him walking
and
through
you saw walking through it. And from that stairs and the lighting perspective, you can see the society, the layers of society. First floor is still dark.
Right.
The upper cluster dark, you don't see it. And second floor is lighting, like that lighting. And the third floor is lighting. And when you go underground, it's black dark. So this is like the art perspective. Symbolic perspective. You see that, and I was like, oh my God, this is so symbolic, and it's really beautiful. That scene, like, showing up, and they did exactly the same thing when they talking. The person who was talking to under the garage, the person's half face is all time it's dark. You don't exactly see. And then later on, first time when you see it, you don't see his face at all. Second time, third time, little more. So you can see the lighting change a little bit, and from
you can tell she's a director, right? She writes, she's an actor, but she's gonna be directing sometimes. So she's very.
So you can see from the perspective, and you can see the director's choice. That's like slow by slow.
Thanks for the badge, Cook Print.
Thank you. You can see slow by slow this directing, opening up this mysterious man underground. But he didn't show his face in the beginning. And second time meeting and a little bit more information. He told that guy, and a little bit of light. And third time and a little bit more light. So that's my favorite scene in the whole thing. And there's more favorite scene. That's the scene I break down really specific. So okay. I'll shut up. All right.
No, don't shut up. I love talking about. That's what we're here to do. There's so many more things to talk about in the film. I know we have a VIP guest that we'll probably end up with. We'll end with a VIP. You want to start with a VIP guest?
Absolutely.
What is it? What's the name of the VIP guest? And then we're gonna open it up for people out there that were able to watch the movie.
You see, someone saying nice details. Thank you, guys.
They're all saying, keep talking. I'm not trying to stop her from talking. I'm going to let this woman talk. She likes to talk.
No, you guys don't know. He's kicking me.
I'm not kicking her. She's kicking me to stop talking. She's just like hitting me like
stop talking. I'll shut up. All right.
No.
All right, let's, our first VIP guest is, here it is.
Who is it?
AINO.
Oh, it's I Love Guitar.
Yeah, I love guitar, of course.
I believe, right?
No, it's not just for fun.
Yeah, it's I Love Guitar. That's it.
Yeah.
It's I Know.
She's I Know. Yeah, she is.
Okay.
What happened?
I don't know. There we go. And to let you guys know, it's the movie. You definitely want to make sure you can talk. You can always DM Alice, and she can put you in the VIP list to talk. So I Know's coming in from Finland. I remember that.
Yep. Hi.
I love hearing this movie
Point
from
of
the
view.
different perspective and different point
So
of view.
I Know's from out of the country. She's in Finland, but she's a film lover like us. So did you watched the movie? Obviously,
yes,
I did. I usually don't really like political movies, but I was like, okay, let's go, let's watch it. And I actually like it. It's not my favorite movie, but I liked it.
It was good, right?
It's pretty great, yeah.
And
it was surprisingly good.
What did you like about it? What did you dislike about it? What was your feelings on it?
Well, it was like pretty hard for me to follow the plot sometimes.
Right. Me too. And look, we're American. Hard for me to follow the plot also.
But it was like so interesting as non-American person. It was like really great to learn about like the whole like thing, since it's like based on the real events, and like, you know, I don't know. It was like really great to get to know what happened, because
it's interesting to see, like, you know, as far as like Democrats, Republicans in America, obviously it's a very hard fought election, but you can see this is not new. This is nothing new in this country. It's like goes back 40, 50 years. They're doing the same
thing.
BS 50 years ago. It's still going on, which is, I guess, I don't know if you want to take that as a good sign or a bad sign, but it is what it is.
Well, it's the politics. I'm not trusting the politics, but I'm at the same time, you don't want to let this politics running by a psychotic, like narcissistic person. That's more dangerous.
Madness can happen.
Madness can happen.
But talk about the movie.
Yes, that was. Dante is really scared of talking about politics. What's wrong with that?
Oh my goodness. What did you like about? What was your favorite scenes in the movie?
I don't know. I liked the scene when it was at the beginning. He was on the phone and like someone was like talking Spanish, and he was like, I don't know what he's saying. And
yeah. Like,
I don't know if it was like scripted, but he was like, does someone speak English? I mean Spanish. And like,
it's so real, right? It was just like watching a
super real. Yeah.
I know
that reaction. And then he just tried to ask help, like really quickly, and look around. And then he doesn't try to like pronounce the Spanish word like awkwardly. He just comes out from his mouth, super organic, super natural. Like, I mean,
and if you look at young Rob Redford, he's kind of like, not kind of, he is like.
He was
like Brad Pitt. He was like the Brad Pitt before Brad Pitt.
I know.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the scenes when he's showing up. Go ahead.
No, I
don't know why I'm so talkative.
Yeah, I know why. Alice 100. She's like,
it's okay. Alice has like so many titles, and I'm here like, oh my god, I don't have anything. But yeah,
no, like what? I mean, talk about other moments you like in the film, like what?
Or something you don't like.
Or someone was like,
someone was like, what is going on? Like I'm losing it. Like you don't know, like any part you don't like.
There's not really like parts that I didn't like, but like the most things happen at the beginning, and it was like getting, you know, like I don't know how to explain it. Like, this whole movie started like at the end, kind of, you know.
Right.
Beginning?
End of the
You
thing.
mean beginning of the movie?
Yeah, it like started at the whole like scandal, like already.
Yeah,
yeah.
I got lost that part too. I was like, who's the antagonism? Who's the protagonism? Who's the person I'm gonna follow? Because there's a three direction comes in, because one direction is 4 people tried to hacking in this office, and another person
they're planting listening devices.
Yes, and then another person is talking onto the walkie-talkie, and is saying like, "Hey, this is one other person is coming into the room."
Yeah,
the cops are coming.
The cops is coming. Who's the protagonist? Who's the antagonism? Who's the hero of this film? Like, I got a little lost. But
the reporters later on.
Yes, that comes in later. But at the first beginning of the 5 to, I will say, maximum 10 minutes, I got a little lost. I tried to get like little, like, I got intense. So that's the part I don't.
I mean, I got lost because they're saying so many names of political people that I don't know.
Yeah.
None of them.
But you.
I was so confused.
I
was so confused. Yeah.
Well, let's just say H. Can I say H? Then you give it to M. Did you talk to M? No, and it's really great the way they did it, but I don't necessarily understand everything they're saying, but I get what's going on and how they're trying to play it.
Yeah. So that's why it was like kind of confusing, but I like catched up like a little bit, but it was like little confusing, I think. So, but I think that was kind of a good thing. But
yeah,
for me, it was like a little confusing.
What about all the news guys? The news guys were great when they're in the newsroom pitching stories.
Yeah.
Again, it just felt like these older guys talking, newspaper guys, and just felt so real. Like that's how I would imagine it felt in the newsroom. Because sometimes we're watching modern stuff, great stuff, but you're like, I don't know if that guy's a doctor or if that guy's a news guy or they don't look like, none of these guys look like they actually do what they're supposedly doing in this movie or
some of the action
show.
films too, because they practice like martial art, karate, or kickboxing. Like what I'm seeing, like some of the action films, like that chick
You're
does
like,
not
she's not a scientist and she's not also a kung fu master.
No, she's not.
And that dude, that really good looking dude, is not a scientist or a doctor. But I'm gonna go with it for now. But in this movie, somehow these guys all felt like real dudes. It was crazy.
Yeah, and like the movie really shows how much media has like power. I think, like how much power the media has. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, the media, the power of the media, totally. And also you get the stakes of the media, because like when they were making mistakes and you see how people get in trouble and how like the government, the political guys were like kind of like crapping on the media guys, you can see like they're gonna shut our newspaper down because you guys are messing up. You just felt the stakes get so heavy and so high. That's great. Yeah. Well, I know. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you for having me.
I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad this is like, we've been doing a lot of pop films. This is a very kind of deep cut in cinema, but this is
it was different. It's
different. This Monday Cinema Club, we are trying to also hit some classics and see some films that I think are important films that maybe not everyone has seen, including us, maybe not ever or not recently, and to kind of go back to some of the classics and get inspired.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, thank you for calling. Shout out to Finland.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Bye.
Pleasure. Bye.
So sweet. Shout out to Finland. I didn't hang up on you yet. Here we go. Oh no, maybe not. Okay, here we go. So, if you watched the film, hashtag president. Yeah, we were there. Hashtag president. Why is there a spinning circle on the?
I don't know. That's your phone, Dante.
Bye, Cook Print. Bye bye.
What did you say?
Cook Print. He'd say he bought a badge, and he or she. I don't know if it's he or she, but they bought a badge, and so I was saying goodbye. So I said bye. Okay. But thank you for having me. Of course.
Absolutely. And if you guys watch the film, hashtag president.
Here you go. This is the first one I saw. Hashtag president. I saw. Boom.
Well.
Al and Al.
2, 3.
Maybe. Hopefully. Hashtag.
Oh,
What's
my
up?
God,
How are you guys
there's-
doing?
We have two.
What's your guys' name?
Three.
Three people. Where y'all calling in from?
Southern California, Pasadena.
Oh, very cool.
Pasadena.
What's everybody's names?
I'm Alex. This is Andrew, and that's Alyssa.
Oh my God, you guys all brothers and sisters?
Yes.
Yeah.
All A's?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh wow,
That's
that's
nice.
awesome.
I used to.
She's A, she's Alice, but me and my brothers are all D's because I don't know. That's what our parents did. Also, Derek, Darian, Dante, and Dion. But then my little sister got A because my dad was a D and my mom was A. Your parents are A's or no?
No, my parents are both start with P, so.
They just said, "Oh my goodness, we're just gonna go with A's."
Yeah.
Super random. But thank you guys for tuning in. Were you guys able to watch this movie we were talking about today?
Yeah, so I actually watched it in class first.
Oh wow, let's talk.
Wow.
What class was it?
AP Government.
Oh,
So,
we watched in government class.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
talk to us because we're not government people. We're movie people and we love the movie.
Please drop us a knowledge.
And there's stuff about the government stuff that it was like I don't know what they're talking about. I
Yeah.
get what they feel like. I just don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, a lot of it went over when I first watched it. So I watched it and we were going over media, so like how the media influences politics and all that kind of conversation. But when you put it on, I liked it so much. I was like, oh my gosh, the rest of the family has to see this. So I actually got my parents to rent it so we could all watch it.
Wow.
And then this week you post, you're like, oh, we're gonna do this movie. I was like, oh, okay.
Nice. Well, drop us some government stuff that you want to tell us that you found out in class that you discovered because we want to learn something we don't know about.
We learned a lot about the idea that people actually don't. We were really talking about how people don't read the newspaper anymore, and how that the idea of like investigative journalism has gone away. And so it was kind of our teacher made a good point. If nothing else, the freedom of the press.
No,
that's freezing. Okay, you froze a second. Come back. Your teacher made a good point. That what?
So that freedom of that democracy is kept by the freedom of the press. That if nothing else, it's freedom of the press that keeps our democracy running. That without this freedom that the press has, there's no way to keep our political leaders in check because there's so few limits in America on what you can publish and whatnot. And so he was showing us that, these reporters were writing or doing would have been considered questionable in other countries. But in the United States, it's actually, it's welcome. And it was obviously, it received a lot of criticism at the time. But now it's like applauded the way these men handled it. And it was really interesting to see this portrayal of them. And I actually really enjoyed like the fast-paced conversation and the transitions of the moods.
Yeah.
The political names, I was really lost.
Oh, the Deep Throat? Deep Throat,
Yeah.
You're like, what is going on with Deep Throat?
I know.
That whistleblower Deep Throat. I know it's a very, I don't know, it's a very crazy name. But yes, I understand.
Yeah.
But even the way they were talking was so quick, but also coded. Some of the scenes there wasn't even a lot. They were like kind of like half. Like I didn't know what they're talking about, But it was crazy.
Yeah.
But to see also how pushy the reporters can be to get what they want. It's kind of like I could never be a reporter. I could never be a reporter because they're like obviously the people you're talking to don't want to talk to you, but they're like, can I come in? Can I have a cup of coffee?
Yeah, when they come into the bookkeeper's house, they really, really wanted that information. And then that reporter was like, this is like an amazing directing style. Like how he being so like pushy, not verbally, but it comes up super organically.
Their job.
Is like, can I grab a...
Their job is to kind of push you past your comfort zone and reveal something that you don't want to reveal. Watching it a little bit, but that's what they do, or else there's no news.
But at the same time, they're like super psychiatristic. What do you say? Psychologically, like really, really like independent, and can play with you a little bit.
Mind game,
because they're not only a reporter. They feel like sometimes.
And they show.
FBI.
I love when they set it up. They're like, "How are we gonna get the name?" Well, we're gonna just say, "Well, we know P is Porter." Just say we got Porter, but then what's that like? But
if
there's
they reacted.
if they react, then they react. If they don't react, if they react, then like they know we got it. They were playing all these things like P's Porter, but who's in?
That's the game. That's the game. You're not only in the reporter world. Nowadays, this kind of games exist like anywhere, like politics, business, Wall Street, production.
But now, sorry, it's Alex, and then you are again with it starts with A.
I'm Andrew.
Andrew,
Alex.
Now our reporters are all on just regular people reporting on Facebook and social media.
Everyone is a reporter.
What happens then? What does your government class say then? Were you in trouble?
So, yeah, pretty much.
What about the freedom of speech?
No, it's good freedom of speech, but like qualified people that are actually doing the hard work to get the information instead of just voicing opinions. Opinions are fine.
Yeah.
But they're not
facts.
Newspapers.
Yeah, exactly. So we talked about like the idea that people get their news off like Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever. They don't bother to double check. Like
it's not vetted. It's not vetted information.
Exactly. So they're like, you know, people just believe what they want to believe, and they're allowed to do that now because, you know, there's no like fact check. There's no you have to fact check.
Fact check.
But what's even scarier, we were watching Bill Marshall the other day, and the guy who did a documentary called Undivided Attention, because it's even scary because the algorithms that whatever you like, whatever kind of news you like, whatever, it picks up those things and it just keeps giving you information that you already think about, so it can but it's the algorithm kind of like feeding your whatever fears or things you may think is right or wrong, or even like false information. Like we're like all algorithmed out by our social medias.
Exactly. It's just even though right now in social media, like every time when I'm like open my first page, like all the time they show the dog videos because they know I love dogs. Like I'm watching dog videos, and
Thank you, dog videos.
Yours is different.
This one's crazy. Okay. What's one? Before you guys go, let me know one of your favorite moments in the movie or scenes in the movie.
Or not favorite ones. Doesn't have to be favorite. Like the scene like you hate or you don't like.
I actually don't know. What was your favorite scene?
I don't know. I did have a problem with one thing. Like this is one.
Give it to us.
Yes.
Give it to us.
Okay, this is kind of just a nitpick. It's not actually doesn't make the movie a lot worse, but so when I believe in one of the last scenes when he's talking to Deep Throat, and he hears something, so it turns away, and then he goes back, and Deep Throat's not there.
He's gone. That's the last we see of Deep Throat. Deep Throat's gone forever.
Yeah.
Just looks
They
bad.
never reveal who Deep Throat is.
So his question. Hold on, let him.
Do they?
Question.
They don't reveal it, but we do know.
No, not at all. But
Hold on a second. She said, but we know who Deep Throat is now?
Yeah, because they didn't know back then. They didn't find out till like decades later, I think. He was like a high-ranking officer, I think, in the FBI or someone in the government. So now we know who he is, but we didn't know back then.
the back then we don't know.
So you didn't like, Andrew, you didn't like that they just kind of did like a movie thing, like, what's that sound? Oh, he disappeared.
Yeah, I had two problems. I would have liked the cut with
Your voice is breaking.
was supposed to be, and then it just looked weird because it just was like the cut, like he just disappeared out of nowhere.
Right.
It's super like magical, you think?
They should see him walking away or getting in a car and rolling out or something, right? I'm with that. That's a good cut. But also, I think your sister's right. I think maybe they didn't put it in the movie because at that point it wasn't common knowledge who Deep Throat was.
Yeah.
It is like it's like kind of like director choice, like why he did that, because it's really fast for us. But at the same time, like when you're in the fair, when you're in that situation, you're surrounded by like the place you're not comfortable and you're scared of something happening around you, that times goes so slow.
That's true.
So that's the director point of the decision. Director, I think he made that.
Did you talk to the director?
I mean, you're gonna stop.
I'm just teasing.
That's the film's competition.
I'm just joking. You're probably right.
So that's why. So we are, as the audience, we're not in that environment, but we feel that fear he has, right? It's super fast, but at the same time, its time is super slow. So it's like a timing, but it's a little magical.
What about how y'all feel about the whole time capsule part of the film? The fashion, the way people were acting, the technology, just no computers, not one computer in this major newspaper, just typewriters, no cell phones, rotary phones. I saw this thing on TikTok with these younger people trying to figure out how a rotary phone works, and the dad's laughing at them, and they're looking at the phone, and they can't even figure out how it dials. You know what I'm saying? They're like, I don't know how. It took them like 10 minutes to figure it out, even if you have to do like this. They're like, how do you make this thing call somebody, you know? So, I mean, when you watch this film, there's so many tactile old technology, and this is a major reporters doing their job. Could you imagine, I mean, writing a paper for school, let alone writing something that's going out to the world and being communicated worldwide, and all your materials are like a pencil and paper. That's what I got. I got a pencil and paper, and I got to figure out how to do this and put it on a typewriter, get to something for them to print up. It's kind of crazy when you look at it like that.
Yeah, it's super crazy. We actually, I think for us it was less. I think it was less weird because we grew up a lot watching older shows. Like our childhood was the Brady Bunch.
Oh wow! So you saw the 70s. You experienced it, even though you guys are super young.
All the 70s a lot, but when you watch, I just like when I think about it, I'm like, imagine like they typing up the stories, and if you mess up, like you got to use your whiteout, and it's just so different.
Right, you got to use the whiteout, and they have that special paper. If you saw their paper, I mean, because I was born in the 70s, I remember a lot of this stuff. I used a typewriter when I was a little kid for papers and stuff. It's a carbon paper, so when you type it, it gives a copy of it. It's crazy. And then when they start typing each other, no texting, obviously, and they're like, they feel they're being bugged, and they go and they start typing on the typewriter.
Oh
like literally, I don't think any household in 5 mile radius of me has a typewriter in their house.
I'm a typewriter.
There's no way, right?
I mean, people doesn't use, but I love to use that because it's like feels so
tactile,
and it's feel real. I mean, I don't know, but I mean that scene is I was literally thinking about that scene again. It's like flashing back, like if he comes into the house, like he knows someone just watching them, and he starts to play the music. That music between the music and the tense of the film, like actual happening, it's super like black and white. Music is so relaxed, orchestra, like
I don't remember
so
what music
beautiful music, and it makes you relax at the same time.
People were paranoid about the government here in America in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? It's not a new thing, y'all. It ain't a new thing out there. It's been going on. It's crazy.
Oh well, we're gonna do Welcome to America.
Thank you guys so much for calling in. It's such a pleasure. You guys are awesome. Just 3 of you guys or more siblings?
No, just 3 of us.
3 of you guys. Well, shout out. Thank you so much for calling in and giving us some knowledge. We needed some real actual knowledge because we're, like I said, we're filmmakers. We don't know a lot about this stuff. We don't know a lot about that. But it was great filmmaking, great acting. And was it? Did your professor say it was pretty correct historically? Historically correct?
Yeah, it was my teacher. He said that this was like a really great retelling of what it was like. Maybe it wasn't exactly accurate, obviously, because it's a movie, so they had to a little bit more dramatic and entertaining. But he said that it was pretty much what it was like, and for people to get the news, it was kind of scary to hear all this information, and they kind of didn't want to get it.
Right. Well, thank you guys so much. Have a good week. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Bye.
That was great. Brothers and sisters watching together. That's great.
Exactly.
Another crazy thing in the movie, which I don't know how it fares with whatever modern day things, but they're very flirty and they're to get information. The 2 guys to all the girls they talk to, whether they the coworker. Do you remember the coworker? She's like they play. That wasn't really flirty with a coworker, but the other girls they were talking to, like who you looking for? Her. Like that's part of the game, though. They're part of the game. He literally used her weakness as her use her weakness as their. But he wasn't leveraging her to get it. Like, no leveraging, just like I'm just gonna let you put out there. Like if you don't want to feel you don't have feelings for him anymore, don't call. What's a big story? I don't want to put you in the like. We don't want you. He doesn't want her to cross her personal, but he does. But they know she. But what about all the other women that they talk to get information from? The bookkeeper, the cute little girl by the front desk, the cute little girl that was kind of. I mean, that's called using currency. You know, that's what you're gonna do if you have a currency. Dustin Hoffman. I work with Dustin Hoffman. He's amazing. He's an amazing actor, but he's a very Dustin Hoffman. Yeah. Yeah, and he's a very flirtatious guy, like in real life. So he's always flirting and kind of like playing and joking, making smile. He's like, what do you there's like, he said so many great lines, like, no, what do you think? No, what do you think? Like, what do you, and who am I talking to? It's just great how you got information out. You too, you're a flirtation too. You also use that currency. So, okay, let's get some more people in here. Hashtag president right now, and you can pick the next person.
Ha! Let me see. Who am I gonna pick?
I think if you watch the film and you want to say something about the film, hashtag president right now, and we'll bring you into the chat.
Or let me see. Do we have a questions over there?
Or questions. We do questions too. We have questions. How much do you love your fans? I love them a lot. Thank you, Wild Daddy. Can you say I must restore my honor? I must restore my honor. This is great. These are our questions. This is great. Let's watch Lincoln next time. Maybe we'll do Ian Crow. Maybe we'll do that. Okay. Out of a scale of 1 to 10, Kook Print asks, what do you rate this movie? Let's rate the movie with the emoji. I know, but what do you rate it? I rated 1 of 10 though. 1 of 10. 1 of 10. Let's look at my emoji stuff. You know. I'm gonna give it. I don't know. I really liked it. I didn't understand it all the way, so I'm gonna give this emoji. I'm gonna give it an 8.8. For the number? 8.8. 1 out of 10. I'm giving it 8.8 out of 10. Yeah. We should start asking people. That's a standard question we should ask people. Thank you, Kook Print. That's a good question though. That's a good question. We're gonna out of the 10. Ian Crow gives it a 7. I will give 8. I will give 9. That's what I mean. 8.8 is basically 9. No, 8.8 is 8.8. 9 is 9. Who taught you math? I said basically round up. Round 9 is 9, 8.8. Let's see. Okay, I see a president. I see a president here. Yeah, I see a few of them, so I'm gonna get through a few people. What did you give? Oh, Alice, I give 9. I gave it 9. I gave it 8.8. So it's a 2 different number. It's close though. Yeah, kind of. I see you, Molly MC. I'm gonna try to get to you also. Hello, Thomas. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Did you watch the film?
Absolutely.
This is. It's a deep cut. There was a deep cut film. This film.
Oh yeah, no, it's I think people have already made mention of this, and y'all did as well. That this is a movie you really have to watch twice, even though it's an extremely accurate documentary for the most part. It's super accurate, but even then, the number of characters, the names, the pace of the movie is so fast. At the name, though. Even if you don't, if it flies over your head, the acting and the filmmaking is so great, you kind of roll with it and get it. Well, and that's what's great to watch it again. Yeah, that's what's I think so interesting about it is that if you're paying too much attention to the plot, you miss so much of the good acting because they make it so authentic with their with their I guess their rapport with each other. It just seems so natural that you don't realize how good of acting they're actually doing if you're just trying to follow the plot alone. The acting's so wonderful, and to see the guys just the banter and how they are with each other. And what's great is obviously a lot of great things are going on in the movie, but when we talk about acting, part of what makes scenes hot and interesting to see is having high stakes. And so every actor has these high stakes, and when they're acting, you may not know what they're doing, but then you can feel their intention and their high stakes. Even when they first met Robert Redford's character and Dustin Hoffman's character, not even that. There's maybe like 5 lines, but you can see how he puts it. See that tension between them. Dustin Hoffman grabs his thing, he rewrites it, and he's like, "Why are you rewriting my thing?" And then they pass it back and forth. You can feel the camaraderie and the competition. And they didn't even say anything. It was great. What I think's really interesting about that is I know whenever Redford was cast for it, he thought it wasn't necessarily a good idea because there's two major leads for this movie, and he's like, well, someone else has got to be also star actor as well to like match his level. And then they're like, oh, let's get Hoffman in then. And then he actually approached him at a basketball game. I'm pretty sure is how he actually got the role. Yeah, which is kind of funny. But yeah, like I do know that I read a couple of like trivia facts about the movie after I watched it. They actually memorized each other's lines so that they could get the deliveries and then the interruptions between each other like as accurate as humanly possible. Oh, wow. And it was almost offsetting for the other actors that they were playing because they just seemed like they were so entwined together that it just came off like that authentic that they were like just working together and they were just really good at talking and stuff. It was pretty interesting, I thought. So that's amazing. That's a very theater thing to do, and they both come from theater, so it makes a lot of sense. I mean, theater, you have to know everybody's lines because you got to know when you got to come back on stage. Especially if someone's missing their lineup and you're just like, because I acted a little bit in high school, so I did some of the theater stuff. But But if you're on stage and the other guy's like not delivering, oh, Violet's upset. Okay.
You acted a little bit too. A little theater. We know you did band. We know you were.
Yeah, I did. So I did theater for the last year of high school. I was in Arsenic and Old Lace, which was a fun one. Iris, can you say hi?
Hi, Violet. How you doing?
Hi.
You ain't got no shirt on.
She
found a necklace,
but you
and
got
she
a
wanted to wear
necklace. Sometimes
that.
all you need is that necklace, and you kill it. You
She found a piggy.
That's a pig.
Piggy home.
Piggy.
Yeah, she's having a fun time today.
Oh my goodness.
But
say
no,
hi,
yeah,
Alice.
great. Can you say hi, Alice?
Hi, Ellen.
Oh, you're just
Not
being.
today.
No.
You just kicked the phone instead. You're not getting it today. She's not saying hi to anybody today.
Hi,
She
Violet.
just want to play with candy.
Well,
So-
give us one of your favorite moments or scenes in the movie.
So one of them, I don't know if it's. I actually kind of liked the whole scene itself. Was the count to 10 scene? I thought was kind of interesting.
Right.
I just love the flow of it. How they're like he's like rushing over there and he's getting on there and he's talking to him and he's like, I'm gonna count to 10 and if you're on, then we'll know it's good, and then he's like, okay, once, and he starts counting it.
It's so funny.
And he finishes. He's like, all right, we got it. Let's go. He gets all excited.
It's like
So crazy.
confusing too. It's like we don't hang up, we're good. You're not. Like, what are we?
Yeah.
Is this what's going on here? And this
That's-
kind of stuff does go on, like as you're doing things, not only in filmmaking but in our own communications in life. We hold people to stuff after we say something ridiculous, and we don't even.
Right.
No, people just scared of
That's-
having a
that-
conversation, especially sensitive information.
Right.
And then
Right.
the journalists know. So I'm going to use that. So since you're uncomfortable, so I'm going to make it easier to split that sensitive information.
There's a cacophony of sound going on in Arkansas.
Oh, I have a lot. They're having a blast.
Iris,
I was gonna say what you were saying about that sounding ridiculous, like that's how I feel whenever we like play games sometimes. I'll go into like this detail. I'm like, yeah, so did you do these for all these reasons and stuff? And you're like, yeah, that's great, I guess. That made sense to some people, I think.
I know, we played League of Legends. He starts breaking down some heavy duty ideas of what to build because of what. And I'm just like,
Yeah, it gets fun. Yeah.
either do that or just try not to die. Okay.
Yeah, that's all. That's what everyone's trying to do, right? All right. Thanks for having me on,
Thanks,
guys.
Thomas.
I gotta go do some parenting now. They
Bye,
found my other
girls.
phone.
Oh my God, that was a nice conversation in Arkansas, folks. Pick someone else, Alice. Pick somebody else.
Let's hashtag president.
Hashtag president. Grab somebody else. Grab somebody.
Okay, let's see. And send the requests,
Oh,
Jack in the
Jack,
room.
Jack.
Jack in the house.
I know, Jack, you hit me up because we
you
lost
emailed
you
me.
last week.
Yes.
But we're
let's
back.
see.
Jack
Decline.
declined. This
Jack.
one happened last time. I think Molly, I remember Molly, here we go. She was
Okay.
in. Wait. Let's see.
Molly.
I don't know. I saw her earlier with it.
Oh,
Hey,
hey.
how you doing?
Hi.
Where you calling from, Molly?
North Carolina.
North
And you
Carolina.
called in before, right? We talked to you before.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. I remember her.
And were you able to watch the movie this week?
Yes, of course.
And what did you think?
I liked it. I thought it was really interesting. A little bit difficult for me to follow the plot, but overall I thought
Me too.
Everyone
Me
says
too.
that. Us too.
But we were in the perfect political climate to watch a movie like this week,
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I liked it a lot.
And share with us any favorite moments or scenes that you had in the movie.
Or the scene you don't like.
Well, I thought that the dialogue for the entire movie was really well thought through, as like someone said before. Even the scene when he is on the phone with someone who's speaking Spanish and like, oh, does anyone speak English? I mean Spanish. It's like daily conversation. You like mess up, you make errors, but they kept it in and it really made it very authentic.
Yeah, no, it was so authentic. It felt like a documentary.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad you got to watch the film. I know it's a deep cut film. We've been watching a lot of more pop culture films. This is kind of like an old school cinema film, but it's really
Classic
a classic
cinema.
film. I think it was an important film. I think it's we got to watch. We're watching this Monday Cinema Club. We're watching cinema, watching some great films. It's kind of like a film class for all of us here. us included.
Especially me.
But I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you.
And we're going to be having some kind of cool films for next week.
Yes.
You can actually vote. We have 10 minutes left in this right now. But
yeah.
what's the you can go to Alice's page right now, and the two films are Body Heat and
Big
Easy.
Big Easy.
So it's more like romantic crime films, I would say. Yeah. Really both classic ones. So go there and vote. Hope you can watch one of them next week with us also. Thank you, Molly.
Well, thank you for joining in.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
All right. We can bring up. We have time for maybe 2 more people, maybe.
Let's do.
I see. Okay. Let's see. This is. I don't know if this person has ever called in, but they asked a question, and so let's bring in Ian Crow. Ian, what's up? Yeah. Ian, how you doing?
Hi.
Where are you calling in from?
I'm doing okay. It's been a while since I've seen All the President's Men, so bear with me.
All good.
All good.
Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling from Beaver Creek, Ohio, near Chappelle, because he lives in Yellow Springs.
Very cool. And what do you remember about the movie? What stood out to you? Scenes or moments?
Well, mostly the politics, because I've worked with politicians myself, but during campaigns, not this year.
Oh, really? And did it feel truthful? I've never worked with campaigns or anything like that. I'm not that political in that way, but how was the energy feel?
How did the energy feel? Well, at first you're excited. This is how the government works and stuff. But then again, you're like, that's not how this person would say.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like that.
Okay.
Plus, I'm an Air Force brat too, so I know the politics in that.
Oh, cool. So you're around it a lot. But do you remember liking the film, disliking the film? What was your idea, your feeling about it?
My idea was it's interesting, and I did like the film. Pretty much that, but like I said, I haven't seen it for a while.
Right. Yeah, go back and check it out again. We just thought because it was such a political week, and we were all waiting so long for votes to be counted, might as well watch a political film during that week. But I think politics aside, which are the politics, it's interesting to see really good filmmaking, really good perspective, really good just acting and filmmaking. And then, it's interesting to see the time capsule of, 50 years ago and how people were acting and being, and seeing that it was not so surprising that whatever political problems we have now, we were having back then. We're still having, it's still going on.
It's the same as in the military. There's a lot of politics, how you're being a high-ranking officer, or they choose like this person over this person because of political agendas. Right.
Are you in the military now?
I am a dependent. My dad was a major. I can still go on.
Well, very cool. My dad was in the Navy. My uncles were in the Air Force. My grandfathers were in the Army. So I understand some of that world.
I tried to go in, but autism keeps me from it. I'm like, well, at least I tried.
Yeah, at least you tried. Well, thank you so much for calling in, and try to watch the film again if you can. It's a really good one to revisit.
I can. That plus, maybe we can watch, like I mentioned, Lincoln, because I'm really...
I want to check out Lincoln. We should revisit Lincoln. That'd be great.
Civil War. And that plus Kylo Ren's in there as a correspondent Union soldier.
Is he? I didn't even realize that. Well, obviously he wasn't, I don't think it came out that big before that film came out, so I got to go revisit that.
You notice little differences and stuff like that.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you, Ian.
Thank you for joining.
Shout out to Ohio. All right. We've got time for maybe one more.
One more, and then we're gonna
pick the last person. Pick the last person. I've been seeing this person with a lot of presidents here. She's gonna join us. I saw a lot of information also being dropped by Nicole. Thank you for calling.
Hi.
I see a lot of information. You were dropping some fun facts during our chat.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of history, so watching this film was interesting.
Drop some knowledge on us.
Talk to us.
What favorite moments, scenes, or what you want to drop about this film to everybody out there?
I want to say something about Nixon and how much money he spent on the re-election campaign.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And some of that went to this whole, you know, clandestine project?
Yeah. So apparently he spent 133 million in 1974, which is equivalent to like $850 million today.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
And after he resigned, they made laws limiting the number of how much money they can spend.
On camping?
Yeah,
on campaigning, yeah. I know. I don't really understand the whole political thing, how much money. It seems like so much money gets spent for what are we doing? I don't know. But yeah.
Being a president.
It's crazy. But they can
Interesting.
influence so much by how much money you can spend, which is always strange. And then what's your favorite scenes or moments in the movie?
It's hard to say, but I'm gonna guess the part where they're at McDonald's and they're eating, they'll be looking at their clothes, and it reminds me of my grandpa. No, my uncle in the 70s.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I was thinking my dad and my uncles too.
Typical.
It was so great. You're just like eating and they're trying to figure out
why these two journalists always going to the McDonald's to eat.
I don't know. It just seems so real. There's like a reality of the film that was so great. I hope we get to make something that has that texture, that grittiness.
Exactly.
Well, Nicole, thank you for all the fun facts. Thank you for calling as always. And while you're here, let's let Nicole know the next movie.
Okay, do you want me to announce it?
Let's go. We know it's between Body Heat and The Big Easy. And
So we're still collecting our votes. Just kidding.
Come on.
It's gonna be delayed 3 days.
You're not funny. Now let's go.
It's Big Easy.
The Big Easy. Oh my goodness. So The Big Easy film. Watch it.
You don't watch The Big Easy, me neither.
It's next week. It's what stars Dennis Quaid, young Dennis Quaid. He's really, Body Heat's really great too. William Hurt, Kathleen Turner, amazing. Big Easy stars Dennis Quaid and Ellen Barkin. And let's watch it. I don't know.
Directed by Jim McBurr.
We're gonna see Dennis Quaid, who we all know now as this older kind of guy, but his young, sexy days with Ellen Barkin. And Ellen Barkin was pretty sexy too, if I remember the movie. So I can't wait to see it. But thank you, Nicole, for calling in.
Thank you for calling in.
No problem. Bye.
Always a pleasure.
Bye. Always pleasure.
Thank you guys so much for watching us. This is Monday Cinema Club. This was All the President's Men, our political themed week during this political themed life that we were living in for the last day. Next week is The Big Easy, starring Dennis Quaid and Ellen Barkin.
Enough for the political. Let's do some romance.
Enough for the political, a little romance. Little crime. But it's going to be fun. It's a pretty fun movie. Mm-hmm. And for all the people that couldn't get in this week, watch next week, and you can hit up Alice to get a VIP.
Reserve the VIP.
VIP just means you reserve it, where you're definitely going to get it. Otherwise, we're just picking people out who've seen it. Okay. But hopefully you guys can watch The Big Easy. We can discuss it next week. Have a great week.
Have a great weekend.
Anything, I wish I could speak another language and say to everybody. Da-da-da-da-da,
Well, that's a great language.
I can't do it. Do you want to say anything?
Thank you for watching. There's no. Do you want to be speaking different language?
You can. I would if I could.
Just kidding. All right. Thank you for watching, guys.
I can say ciao.
This is ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao is a different language.
Ciao is
Spanish.
Italian.
Italian.
We'll work on it. Thank you guys so much. Have a great week. Thanks for watching movies with us. We'll see you next week on Monday Cinema Club.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.